and you mentioned massive, so this segues perfectly here. So I noticed that you're always running in tights. The second thing I noticed was, holy crap, Chad has got a gigantic hog. Okay, so
Chasing trail, kicking up dirt, sweating my eyes, but it don't hurt. Fast feet, loose rocks, send it full sail. Ain't no stopping, we chasing trail.
hello, everybody, and welcome to Chasing Trail. I am your host, Teddy Tonelli, aka Teddy Tires, and today we have a very special guest on the show. This guy has quickly been making a name for himself in the trail scene, thankfully, coming over from his recent adventures as a cyclist. He's a track star as a young buck. He seems to always find his way to the tops of leaderboards in any event he enters. He's showing dominant performances. Each year he attends Mammoth Trail Fest, and this year he looks to do it again, racing the Triple Crown, and more likely than not, absolutely freaking obliterating the cumulative time record as he prepares for the Kodiak 100K. So without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, Chad Hall. How the hell you doing, Chad?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show, Teddy. Appreciate the intro. That was quite the
Yeah. Yeah,
accolades.
it's gonna get better because typically I like to start the show actually going through some accolades here. So I'm gonna name off a few of them here. It's crazy. So you got in 2023 you beat Eli Hemming on your home turf at the Kodiak 50K. In 2023 you ran a blistering fast 2 hour and 12 minute marathon at Mesa Marathon. While attending UC Riverside, you ran a 4 minute and 4 second freaking mile, stupid fast. And the same year, you got 20th at the Boston Marathon. Okay. And last but not least, you got ninth at the 2023 hotly contested Pikes Peak Marathon. My Lord, Chad, this is super impressive. But, what happened in 2024? Because it's like non existent.
Oh gosh, 2024. Yeah, rewind to last year. GoPro Mountain Games, June, for those that are familiar. Doing the 20K, so again, racing Eli. How these races always go. You're like, I'm gonna maybe go make a little money this weekend, and then all the hitters come out like Eli and a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
So chasing Eli, two-loop course. Really only like one section, a single track that's like really fast, fun, a little slightly techy. And so second loop coming around, and that was like that. I love descending, so I was just trying to kind of like I had second locked up, but still just having a blast, trying to have fun on the descent. Coming around some people, step off to the side, and just I don't know, I must have stepped on a rock or something, just like laid my ankle over.
Oh,
It like popped, and I was like, it was one of those things where it's like you have a thought in that moment, and I don't know why. My first thought was like career over, like that's it, like which is probably overreacting a bit, but yeah. So, anyways, I hobbled in for like seventh place on that day, but yeah, made a recovery, did Trail Fest, did the triple, which went really well, but probably stupid. I did the whole thing in like one pair of normal Jiracs, and then
yeah.
did another like long run with Garrett Cochran a few days later, also in the Jiracs. So
Yeah.
I pushed it a little too far, and then end up with plantar fasciitis, which is like probably some combo of that weekend plus like running on a sprained ankle that's like messes up your mechanics for the season prior, for that whole like build up prior. So yeah, made like a brief appearance, but then yeah, just been kind of recovering from that for a long time. And yeah, so I'm excited to kind of like get back to it a bit, like finally feel like I'm fully healthy and ready to go again. And it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, you gotta be careful hanging out with Garrett Corcoran. That guy, he's a wild man out. He basically lives off of PBRs and hot dogs. I don't think he does anything else than that. And like he's still an elite athlete. It's crazy. So you gotta be careful there. Nice guy, but crazy man. Crazy man.
Ironically, he was the one who was wearing whatever the Nike shoes are, and his are all worn down. But he was like, we were talking about my shoes, and he's like, I don't know about those, dude. So yeah, learn
Yeah.
learn my lesson the hard way. But yeah, I think shoe variety I would say shoe variety is a good thing.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Teddy's got tons of different pairs of shoes that I wear. I gotta make it's you keep the feet, you keep them by surprise. You're like, hey, today we're wearing these, tomorrow we're wearing these, and they never know because they're feet. But you just gotta keep it. I like that idea. That's good. I'm gonna get into something here, Chad. You are a local, like Teddy now. Teddy's lives in the San Bernardino Mountains as well, and I believe that it's one of the best training grounds that nobody knows about. Do we want to keep it that way, or are you willing to share a little bit of
Ooh.
why these mountains are so special?
Oh gosh, yeah, I know. Honestly, I kind of go back and forth on that a little bit because it's like one of the things that makes Big Bear and the San Bernardino Mountains like what they are is the fact that there's not a ton of people out here, right? It's nice to get that solitude out there when you want it. Certainly, like I go up to Sugarloaf pretty frequently. It's like our kind of our one mountain in the valley that's like a real proper mountain, and there's hardly ever people on there. If they are, they're typically hikers, rarely trail runners. But yeah, I mean, this place is obviously like near and dear to my heart because I grew up on these trails. But I think they are so beautiful. Like, unfortunately, the forest is closed right now. But like, Skyline Trail like didn't exist for such a long time, and since I started, like, I've been in and out of Big Bear forever, but I was a road cyclist, and there's a point in time where I was riding my road bike on Skyline Trail because I was like, I can't stand not being on this trail. It's like so beautiful. And then I ended up being a mountain biker after that. Now trail running on that trail and doing like kind of like some of my like mountain bike loops now as a runner. It's been awesome. But man, yeah, it's just like there's something about it. I mean, we have so much different topography. Like there's really dry, arid areas if you go like on the PCT on the north side and on the east side of the valley. But then like you get these really cool, lush climates like on the south side, the south shore, along the ridge line, and you got San Gorgonio on the backside. Like there's so much expanse around you. And even like looking down your way, like I'll go out to like Siberia Creek, and there's this place called Gunsight, and you look down at this like rugged valley on the back of Snow Valley on the side, right? And you're like, dude, this is gnarly terrain over here. Like you wouldn't really think that. Um, but yeah, it's got this sort of mystery to it, and then like lots of rocky bits with like nice greenery. Like like we both work with photos and video, and I think like colors and the way the light hits things, it's like it just gets you sometimes.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. And the thing is you mentioned the topography, and I always get upset because Teddy came from the East Coast originally, and those East Coasters, they're always talking about how rugged their trails are, and they say, "Oh, your California carpet." Well, here's the thing: they ain't never been out here because there's some of these trails that there's real rugged. There's technical. You go fast. Yeah, I mean, you go real fast. Every time I go on Strava, I telling this to Rachel the other day when I was doing the pod with her. I said, I get there, I get down to my car, and I get on my Strava, and it says you got a little trophy, and I said, yeah, and it's second place, and then I go in first place. Son of a bitch, it's Chad Hall, and I tell myself, I said, well, there's that idea. Second place or lower is going to be all we got, but that's okay, because I take honor. I take honor in that. Some people get mad, not Teddy's, and so good job, Chad. You keep raising the bar for all us local San Bernardino trail runners.
Teddy was not denied on the last like what 2 miles or mile and a half of the San Gorgonio Trail coming back down though, and I've run
Yeah,
that trail a
yeah.
bunch of times. I was impressed by that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, no, Teddy put down a real good time there. What really happened was that there was some park rangers, and they was like, "Hey, you got your permit?" And I said, "Oh God!" So I just started running real fast. I had to get to the car, get in, and go. So that was probably a fluke. You'll go back, you'll take that, I'm sure, and then Teddy will be depressed again. But that's fine. Um, you mentioned that you were at one time. You're going to be running the Kodiak 100K, okay? Your home turf. Again, 2023, you came, you smashed the 50K as we all as locals expected. But you had mentioned in previous conversations that you believe this is going to be your first true ultra, stating that 50Ks are not actually ultras and they're just like long marathons. You care to elaborate?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the word ultra, right? Like ultra, like it does insinuate much further, or like something really massive, right? So to me, The difference between a trail marathon, 50K being 5 miles, it's like, nah, like that's not really that big of a deal. But I think to show respect to the distance, and maybe I'm trying to get that into my brain a little bit of like, this is a much different thing that you're doing. So, like I like to race aggressively, and I go a little bit back and forth with pacing strategies and like kind of what I want to set my intentions on for that race. But I think I'm trying to, I think mostly to myself, say like, hey, like maybe cool it a little bit. Like don't be too aggressive or you might get yourself into a bad place here. Because, it's just like twice the distance on 50K is pretty massive. We get into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. I think that's great, and you mentioned massive, so this segues perfectly here. So I noticed that you're always running in tights. The second thing I noticed was, holy crap, Chad has got a gigantic hog. Okay, so the question, there's a question here. Is this why you're so fast? It's almost like kind of like how a cheetah uses its tail to like steer at high speeds. Am I off here?
I think somebody must have got you with some Photoshop or something there, Teddy, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I was saying that, we come up with some nicknames and we say it's like, like Hanging Hall or something like that.
Oh
I don't
gosh.
know. Yeah. Hey, I'm just Teddy, just an observer here. All right. That's it. I just observe things. I report. That's all we do here. We're about hard hitting
You,
journalism here,
you
Chad.
don't want to build up false expectations though, Teddy. You're leaving people disappointed.
Well, look, here's the thing is that now people is going to look and they're going to be like, holy shit, Teddy was
Oh
right. Like,
gosh.
this is great. Okay, we'll get off of that. That's fine. I don't want to bring any attention to it. You do
That
that
that's
enough yourself.
that's a good plug, I think, for the tracksmith tights.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. Hey, anybody, if you're trying to wear tights and you're a little bit not confident about what you got going on downstairs, Tracksmith is the way to
Got
go.
you covered. Yeah.
Yeah, Tracksmith, if you'd like to sponsor this podcast, I would beware, but we are accepting sponsorships. Otherwise, you are never getting a free plug again in your freaking lives. All right.
Tracksmiths is sponsoring the Chase and Trail podcast.
Yeah,
Love
hey, you
it.
never know.
Yeah.
Hey, crazier things have happened, Chad.
Crazy thing.
Crazier
Yeah,
things. Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, yeah. It's true. So another time I heard you said you had mentioned yeah, preferring to watch bike racing over running live
Oh
streams,
gosh.
and the reason I ask is because I think that we could try to improve these things. So I guess my question is how do you think that we can improve the live streams, making them more exciting? I mean, other than having Teddy host them, what do you think?
Oh man. And we talked about this a bit. I do think that trail racing is more dynamic. So I do want to give credit to trail racing for being more interesting to watch. Because I think I said to you that I can't believe that marathons get publicly televised.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like to be honest, I don't know if you can overcome it because it's like there's just an innate dynamic with cycling where it's like because it's high speed, because there's drafting. And I always tell people this just because I want them to be interested in cycling because it's like if you're trying to watch races stateside, it's really difficult. Like it's actually really difficult to see either full coverage or like say like the spring classics. People don't even know what the spring classics are. But the racing is just so interesting because you get all these dynamics of drafting and how that plays out, teamwork, and like cobblestones, different terrain that they go over. But I do think, yeah, trail racing is interesting in that regard, in that you do get, I think, like a lot of the same attritional things, where it's like, say with bike racing, people have mechanicals whenever, so there's always that dynamic of like, who knows what's going to happen, crashes or whatnot. Whereas like trail racing, yeah, it's kind of like I think the things keeps exciting, especially like these longer ones. It's like people can explode and explode hard, and I think that's why I do find myself following the live streams a lot more with like yeah, trail racing in general, but then especially like long stuff where it's like you're kind of tracking people like, all right, let's see how back half of this race plays out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's fair. I mean, the thing is that you're right though, is that doesn't ever really get to see cycling on TV. The most I get is on Instagram when you have like rogue wildlife attacking cyclists, and I love
Yeah.
that. Like,
When there's
yeah,
like a
I saw.
deer in the, yeah.
Yeah, like a deer running out and it just
Yeah.
totally takes him out, or like a cow gets real mad and just starts headbutting the cyclist. And look, Teddy, like, I'm biased. Here's the thing: is I think that they deserve it sometimes, but that's fine.
Gosh.
Of all the cyclists that I know, you're definitely my favorite, if not maybe the only one that I like. But I do appreciate the commentary though, because the thing is I do think that we can improve on the live stream. Sometimes, look, especially on 100-mile race, like there's a certain point when the commentators are sitting there and they're talking about their personal lives and things get really weird, and it's like, look, I love listening to Dylan Bowman for like 5 minutes, but then after that, I'm like, oh my God, like can we please can we cut away to something else that's like more interesting? Like I prefer silence almost sometimes. So let's get back to Kodiak here really quick. It seems that training is going really, really well for you. Are you using the Mammoth Trail Fest triple as like your last big part of the training block? Is that what the idea is here?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, because that will be essentially the last thing that I do before I really dial things back in terms of training, especially training volume. But then I also just love Mammoth by itself too. So I think like there's a little bit of just trying to capitalize on not having done much this year and having some fitness coming along. And honestly, I'm a gamer and I get overly excited. So like, who knows? We'll see if it plays out the way I'm hoping. But I also just love that weekend, and I think it's like I actually really enjoyed it. Like I didn't expect to do the triple last year. I just had an athlete who was up and he wanted to jump into the 26K, and so I didn't sign up until the day before. But it's just fun. It's cool to be like I think in that race environment. Like I just enjoy it so much. It's just want to participate in everything. So we'll see. Maybe beer mile at the end again, like last year. Try to pull off the quadruple if it's going that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's just fun. I think like I like the rhythm of that. Of, like every day you do something. Like it does kind of remind me of stage racing as a cyclist, where it's like it's a cool thing where it's like do one race and then you're kind of right back in that flow of like okay, eat, recover, get ready for the next one, and then you kind of go through that routine. I kind of like that repetitive cycle. It's kind of keeps you up.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Mammoth Trail Fest, I think that Tim Tollefson has put on an absolutely amazing venue. That it's great. It's because you could bring the whole family, everybody can have fun. The village offers so many things. But my question is since you've been there so many years, have you ever touched Tim Tollefson's hair? And the reason I ask is because you know. I ask every guest. Teddy really wants to get a piece of Tim Tollefson's hair. At this point, I want to put it in like a little plastic bag, and I could just grab it and I could just like just sniff it like real good. I got it because it's so magical. Oh God, have you ever touched it?
I think everybody does want to. No, I'm afraid Tim's such a nice guy, but I think everybody has that one like thing that like if you do that, they'll freak out on you, and I think that might be. I'd be cautious.
That might be his. Yeah, I'm gonna try though. Still, I think that it's worth it just because and you know what, look, I'm okay with getting a restraining order if I can just get a piece. And I had like it's God, it's a lifelong goal of mine. I'm running Mammoth 200 really, really just to see if I can get his hair. It'll give me more because the thing is I could go for Trail Fest, that's fine, but like Mammoth 200 gives me 200 opportunities to potentially get a little snip.
Okay. Well,
So
how do you feel like if somebody would just like came up and started like caressing your beard? Would you be kosher with that?
it depends. It depends if they're like a real big fan of the beard, and if they say like, "Hey, can I touch your beard?" and like I can kind of sense it in them that like they appreciate it.
Uh,
Maybe. If it's just like some random person, kind of like think about it like this. If I was a pregnant lady, I probably wouldn't appreciate it if someone came up and just started randomly touching my belly, kind
yeah.
of like that. But if they asked politely, maybe I would let it happen.
I don't know if I would if I could get pregnant. I think I'd be like, this is my safe space right here. No, nobody touches the belly.
Yeah, yeah. No, I could see that too. I could see that too. I think babies and beards is probably like a little bit different, but Not by much. Some people they really like the beards to be like in group. Teddy's beard is kind of scraggly right now. I probably need to get it trimmed, but I'm gonna wait right before the race week because I just want to look like super fresh. So that way, like again, if I meet Tim
Uh,
and like Tim's like, hey, like you must be Teddy, and I say, yeah, I am. I shake his hand and then just grab a fistful of that thing and just, you know, yeah.
just rip it out and take it to
Just
go.
yeah, and the thing is I'll probably not get like the whole thing, but like a little bit, and that's okay. That's a good start. Um, Question here. I saw doing some research that back in high school that your dad was actually your coach, and I was just wondering because Teddy's dad left him as a baby, so I never had that, and I was wondering how was that experience?
It was good. Yeah, I know it was great. I think something I've always appreciated about my dad is that he did that in a lot of respects. So like he coached my sister's volleyball team when she was playing. I think he coached baseball when my brother Steve was playing baseball. So he always tried to participate in whatever we were doing. Granted, like he was the one who ran before us because he was a triathlete, and that's kind of what got the ball rolling on the whole running deal. But we didn't at the high school when Ryan was in high school, there wasn't a track team or a cross country team. So they didn't even know what cross country was. So they started running track. They like had a track club or something, discovered cross country naturally, and then started doing cross country. And then that built like a whole program. So actually, I think my senior year, I think we won state as a team in cross country, and they won like the next 3 years after that. And we've since had guys who gone to D1 schools. We just had a guy who ran like 28, 25 in the 10K over at Air Force. So like cool that I got to experience, yeah, my dad. Like I experienced sort of the middle of it where he started that with Ryan, and then by the time I got there, the program was really taking off as a team and not just an individual thing. But then to see that like impact the school at large and kind of build this legacy of running in Big Bear has been like a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, that is really cool. It's like, it's because that's the thing I've noticed. And that probably explains like the multi-sport, like just the way that your family, all I gotta say is that your mother must have like the most incredible mitochondria like of all time because
Yeah.
like every one of you is like a great athlete. And then you got your dad as a coach who's stepping up and doing those things. That's so great. Because people who watch this show, they know that Teddy had a hard life. Teddy was a foster kid. My mom was a crackhead. She gave me up pretty early on in my life. So I appreciate when I get to see, real good, strong families because Teddy didn't have that. Yeah,
Yeah, for
that's,
sure.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Teddy got a little sad right there. In order,
I wish I had something consoling to say.
it's okay. You don't have anything, you don't need to do anything consoling because right now, what we're going to do, Chad, is we're going to get right into the lightning round. It's one of the funnest things of this show. It's a lightning fast round where I ask you a question, you fire back with an answer. And that's really it. So I think that'll get us out of the funk. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cue the lightning round, and then there's gonna be music playing in the background. I go over this every episode. I have to do it though. So there's gonna be music in the background. You're not gonna hear it, but when post production, I'm gonna put the music in. It's really good for the listeners. They like it. It gets everybody engaged.
I'll imagine something like really peppy playing in the background in my head.
There you go. You got the idea. I love it. Okay. So all right. Lightning round, ready. All right. Peanut butter and blank sandwich.
Jelly.
Okay. Um, did
Is
we
that the
land?
wrong answer?
No, no, that's not the wrong answer. It's really whatever you wanted to put in blank because some people
I
like
know.
honey, some people
I was
like
gonna
bananas.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nutella, but yeah, I mean, well, maybe I'm just a classic guy. The peanut butter and jellies. I was like, yeah, maybe I was taking this like a quiz or something.
No, not a quiz, not at all. It's whatever you want to answer.
Okay, we're taking this lightning round at a slower pace too. I like it.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens. It's fine. I used to yell at my hold on, lightning round pause. Okay, sometimes I used to yell at I went over this last week too. Sometimes I would yell at my guests when they would get like a little bit off track and they wouldn't answer too fast. But I decided, you know what, hey Teddy, life's too short. You don't gotta yell at these people. Sometimes they can't think as fast on their feet as you can, Teddy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. All right. Lightning round ready, go again. All right. Did we land on the moon?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, oh man, yeah. Lightning round could go straight on that one.
Could. Who wins in a boxing match? You or your brother Ryan?
Oh, right now, I hate to say it, but Ryan's probably. Dude's pretty muscled up at the moment. I'm a pacifist.
That's
That's
okay.
my out.
That's okay. No, that's fine. Okay.
Now I feel bad talking to me. Like it's okay. It's okay that your brother could beat you up. That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Teddy's brothers, I don't know them. So it's good that you have a brother that you could potentially get beaten up by. I find that beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the best food to eat before a race.
Ooh, rice bowl of some sort. Yeah, like rice with some sort of meat, maybe chicken, probably. Keep it pretty simple. Simple but still tasty. Yeah, I'm not opposed to like a little bit of veg and maybe even some like
All right,
even salsa,
we're gonna pause right now. You're taking a lot of liberties with the fact that we said we could take it slower in the lightning round.
but okay. We'll
Yeah,
speed it up a little bit.
yeah. Well, we only got one more question at this point, so yeah. Okay, most overrated trail race.
Oh shoot. Most overrated trail race. That's a harsh one. Barclays Marathon.
Barclays Marathon. Yeah, I think you're probably
Uh,
right on that. Yeah.
is it? Well, it's not a marathon, right? But just Barclays. What do they call it? Barclays.
I don't know. It's the old guy
Whatever.
with the cigarettes. Yeah, I think that I think that here's the thing. Oh, lightning round over. So I think with the Barclays Marathon, the one thing that irritates the crap out of me with that whole thing is that you start throwing freaking reading in there. Like I don't want to have books going on when I'm running here. Like I'm already trying to navigate through this crazy forest, and you're throwing books out there. And and the thing is, everybody's like, "Oh, I want to go run Barclays." Get out of here with that. I agree with you. That wasn't even on my list, but man, you are right. It is the most overrated.
Well, okay, yeah, because maybe it's like the thing of like just making something hard for the sake of it being just ridiculous and hard. And
Yeah.
maybe I don't get like it's ironic as an endurance athlete to say this, but maybe I don't get a little bit of human nature of just like I want to make everything suck. Like I want it to be just a suffer fest, for the sake of it being a
Yeah.
suffer fest. Where it's like, say like if it's a proper trail race like most are, it's like there's a level of athleticism there. There's something about just the purity of the race itself
Yeah.
that I like. I just like that pureness of it.
I like that. I like that. You're right. The thing is that you can make, and the thing is if you say, oh, we got to make it harder. Well, how about you try a little bit harder the next trail race you go in instead of walking the entire freaking time? Like speed it up a little bit, Karen. My
Yeah.
God.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like I coach athletes, and like a lot of times people want to go like say straight to the marathon, and I'm like, maybe run a 10K because that's going to take you like close to an hour, and like you can make that properly hard, and it's going to be better for you. But then I think it's yeah, like maybe taking things at its appropriate time, where it's like once you've really stepped up, and that's what I think I kind of hope I've done, is like then taking on things like 100K, 100 miles, even upwards of like 200 miles. It's like you can do that in a way that feels like you're kind of getting the most out of yourself as opposed to like surviving something, right? And I think I'm not
Yeah.
so much into like survival mode type racing.
Yeah, it's like you sign up, you want to be good at it. You don't want to just like again. I think you're right, and I think it brings us to a broader topic. Is like you don't want to just have a suffer fest the entire freaking time. And it seems like ultra running. That's all we talk about. Like, oh, go out there and suffer. Well, how about you just go out there and train, and you have to suffer less, or your suffering is like purposeful.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's like if you think about running as like an art form in a sense, I think like to me, I think I've lived in like high performance environments, and I think that's like there's pluses and minuses to those places 'cause I think people can get overly obsessive, but I think there's something so cool about like shaping your body in a way like and not physically but in same like terms of like strength and stuff, right, where you make yourself into this thing that can do this thing very well, where I think it's like it's such a labor of love. Like I think I see like the whole thing as being this sort of artistic expression of like your passion, where yeah, like you're saying, like if it's just go out and do this crazy thing just because you can and you'll make it, like I think it's maybe missing the fullness of what it can be if you really put some intentionality into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of beautiful. I like that. As an art form. Yeah. And the
I
thing
like a
is that yeah, like okay, well let me stop you there really quick. Who
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think would be like an artist that you would like that you would see as that person that's making that painting? Because I would see the opposite side of it as like modern art, like where you have like a banana taped to a wall, right? That's kind of how some people look at it. Like they're just a banana taped to a wall and they're like art, and then you're like Picasso or whatever you think, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe the thing that feels like artistic to me is I think like maybe like really good art comes from like a place of like kind of rawness and honesty and authenticity. And I think like again, just having existed in sort of like, and not even like the top tier like high performance stuff, but people like kind of like myself who have just like passionately gone after it, where there's like a real like life struggle there, and seeing like the behind the scenes of a lot of these athletes that maybe people get to watch on live streams and stuff, but like who are living like full lives, but they're like really going after this thing where it's like not just the race itself, but like everything they put into it. So it's hard actually to put it on like a singular person because I think there's just so many. I think there's like so many great athletes, especially runners, endurance athletes in general. Like there's not a lot of reward, like in terms of like things that are gratifying like financially or other things. It's like the reward really is in the passion, the fulfillment of that passion of you going after it, right? And a lot of times it's even
Yeah.
the struggle and kind of how that shapes you. Like I was talking to Danny Moreno on a podcast I do, and we were talking about like her going through some injuries and like trying to get back ready for CCC, and she's out at Broken Arrow, and she's like in a position she's not familiar with where she's used to being out front and like just like running away from people, but she's like now the person chasing, but all
Yeah.
those little ups and downs and things that get you to that race, and then even just like the courage to step out and race when like you don't feel ready to. I think most people like it's pretty rare you step on the starting line. I think anybody and feel like I'm ready to go. Like I've done everything. It's like there. I think it often takes a level of courage to like put yourself out there and go for it anyways. And that I think it also doesn't just apply to elite runners. It's like it applies to I think again like people who put themselves into it, who are like pursuing it with passion, and it's a mysterious thing. I think like kind of why we care about this stuff, but I think it is like has a
Yeah.
lot to do with like how it shapes your spirit in the process.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, no, that's a very good way to put it. Speaking of tracksmith, use like a wordsmith. I said I wasn't gonna mention them again, damn it. But either which way,
We're working the sponsorships
yeah,
now.
Noah, look,
Just
hey,
lean
all
in.
I'm saying, we're trying to. The thing is I always tell people, I say, Chase and Trail, it's the fastest growing running podcast in the world right now.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, like it's big time.
Eddie
And
Tonelli killing it.
oh, I don't want to say we're killing it just yet, but we're getting close. We are getting close. It's good. And okay, I'm moving. Okay, so I'm gonna move on here a little bit, away from all the artsy fartsy stuff here. One mainstay question that we have here at Chase and Trail is that Teddy loves animals. I love animals. So what I'm curious about, what's your favorite animal, Chad?
Oh gosh. Oh man, there's so many cool ones. My girlfriend works like in travel with like this company that does like things where they do like wildcats, like big wildcats. And we were looking at pictures that day. I was like, oh my gosh, they are so cool and their eyes are like so wild. There's so many like that. Like
Yeah.
part of me just would say a lion, but I think people always call me gazelle. So maybe I need to go with more of a gazelle, like something sort of light and prancy.
Yeah, yeah. And their arch enemy is big cats, really, because gazelles just get. Well, maybe I'm
Yeah.
thinking about a different animal. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, gazelles is the ones in Africa. Antelopes is the ones that's in North America, I think. So gazelles would get eaten by lions.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go. Final answer. I think I'm gonna go mountain lions though, just because
Ooh,
more like here. I've only seen I think one mountain lion here, So it's like, they're around, but they're elusive, which I think is like I kind
Yeah.
of identify with a bit, right? Like I'm around,
Yeah.
but like you won't see me very often.
That's true. That's very
Yeah.
true. I like that. That's almost the perfect animal for you. Oh my God. I think we nailed it there. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mountain
Yeah.
lion. Okay. The puma. Yeah. This
Wow.
is good. That's cool.
Wait,
Can you
what
do
would
your,
Teddy go for? Teddy, you
my favorite
just
animal?
yeah. Let's hit it.
Well, the thing is that I have lots of favorite animals. That's the problem. So, what I was saying is that I like. So for me, I like bears. I like wolves. But I really want to see a bear when I'm out in Mammoth, right? So, like, and and I think I have a good potential of seeing one. And so my race strategy is because we was talking about pre-race meals. My favorite go-to pre-race meal of all time is Parmesan cheese and gummy bears.
What?
Yeah, why? Yeah, why?
Wait, do you explain? Do you explain? Do you just
Oh,
take like a handful of gummy bears, Parmesan cheese it up, and then just like
oh
toss it
no,
there?
no, no. Yeah, no. So we're not talking about that nasty grated Parmesan cheese that you get from the store. Oh no, we get a
Like a
wedge of
slice of
it.
it.
Yeah,
Okay,
oh yeah,
okay.
we get wedges of Parmesan cheese, and if you got some good aged parm, you could just break off little pieces of it. And the thing is you get sufficient protein. It's a nice salty snack, so you got all the sodium, so you're getting all that in you. And then the gummy bears is really for the carbohydrates, right? So you still get those sugars and everything like that. I know you said rice, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's way too on the nose. See, you go with the gummy bears. My thought is that if I pay homage to the gummy bear, I get to see a real bear.
Has that worked out for you?
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, not yet. But the thing is that like when you're talking about omens and paying homage and things like that, you can't ask for like you just
Yeah,
gotta do the work. It's kind of like what she was talking about art. It's about the passion of the gummy bear. It's about the passion of the cheese. And the thing is, I just love the cheese because it's delicious. And another thing that people don't realize, and this is a real fact here, is that when
okay.
using a race and you're starting to have tummy issues, cheese is great. It'll settle your
Yeah.
tummy. Unless you're lactose intolerant, then you'll just shit your pants.
You're like, and if you tried it and you were lactose intolerant, then sorry, maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
you deserved it a
yeah.
little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Maybe you're gonna at some point get something like a mythical gummy bear that's gonna appear because you've been pouring into it for so long. Yeah, it's gonna be covered in
Exactly.
Parmesan. He's gonna be eating Parmesan cheese. That'll be, dude. Yeah,
Ooh.
I guarantee, deep into this 200 race, you're gonna be like hallucinating and seeing just big gummy bears walking around.
Probably, yeah. Well, because the thing is too, is that gummy bears have all those like artificial dyes and everything in like that. So like I imagine that that's going to cause some serious hallucinations, which again may not be a bad thing. I mean, I figure it
Yeah.
kind of takes away from the fact that my legs is aching and all those sorts of things. And man, there's a lot of competition out there. A lot of competition out there, Chad. Much like you're gonna have when you go to Mammoth Trail Fest, but this is like different, right? So these are the heavy hitters. We got Tara
Yeah.
Dower, we got Rachel Enchikin, freaking Jimmy Elam's gonna be out there, and he's a legend. So, Teddy's got his work cut out for him. So it's okay though. Enough about me, Chad. Enough about me. One thing that I wanted to do before we ended here today, it's something that I love to do with the people, and usually I get some like absolutely amazing responses. But what I like to do is give my guest the last word. Now, you could tell a joke, you could tell a story, you could do whatever you want, but you could say whatever you want. We just say that you just don't tell any like really risque jokes that could get us canceled.
Okay.
But otherwise, the floor is yours. Go ahead, Chad.
Wait, the last word. Wait, no, you don't give me the
Well,
last word?
well, no, no, no. Well, okay, kind of, sorta, but basically, like, I want you to like give like a last, like, final, like, sort of speech thing. I'm gonna like end the show, give like a whole like outro thing, and then like I'll officially end it. But like, as far as like last words go, like a last message for the people, really.
Oh gosh. Kick me off. I have too many things in my head. Kick me off with because I thought you were gonna give me a word to go off of. Kick me off
Oh,
with
okay.
something.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, so we could. It's kind of like improv. So like when you do
Yeah.
improv and like I say like trumpet, you're like. Okay,
Well,
you know,
well, I'll tell you what I really wanted to talk about is I missed the whole conversation about Jesus and the apocalypse that you and Damon had on the mountain.
oh yeah, yeah, no, that that it wasn't necessarily all about the apocalypse. We was really just talking about Jesus in general and kind of like, what I said to him was I said, people always say like, yeah, some people get real cagey and real mad when you talk about religion. And I said, but the one thing people could say about Jesus is, man, that dude was a freaking badass, man. Like,
Yeah.
how many people get I look, here's the thing, is that in San Bernardino, I know what it's like to run past like thorn bushes. And the thing is, I've tripped and fallen in them before, and it really hurts. But they took a freaking a giant thorn bush and they freaking shoved it on his freaking head. And then they put him in front of a bunch of people that was real mad, and they's yelling and they spitting at him and they's whipping him, and he had to carry his cross the whole way. And the thing is what we was talking about was how like that is one of the most documented events in history. And there's still people who's like, Jesus wasn't real. I'm like, well, it says it in like 100 freaking things. So we was talking about like what a badass the guy is, because then they hung him up on the cross and he's still sitting there and he's basically like forgiving people who put him there. And I'm like, man, Teddy wish he could be that cool. Nah, I can't, but like I wish I could. So
That's cool. No, I dig it. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess this is going so off topic. I shouldn't have asked that question because I have too many thoughts. But yeah, I
that's
mean, I
okay.
think it's been funny because I think I've gone on like such a spiritual journey. I came from a very Christian family. But yeah, I think it's like I think Jesus is such a cool like archetypal figure where it's like I think whether or not you believe, because I think there's a lot of things about saying who Jesus was, but I think you can't just look at the story as something like you're saying that's like really inspiring. And I think like I love I was telling somebody this the other day where I was like, I think Jesus is just like the best superhero where it's like if you think about like what a superhero is to us. But I'm like, in some ways, like for a superhero to have powers, like to have real powers, and granted, like Jesus is claimed to have some powers, right? Like walking on water and stuff is doing supernatural things.
It's a
But
pretty
like,
good one.
if you can, yeah, like if you can fly though, or you can like shoot laser beams out of your eyes, like it's kind of too easy at that point, right? Like you're like obviously you're something profound, but like he was just wandering around using his words and saying like things that hit people in the heart. And I think that that's like kind of what we have to work with. It's like I think that's like you kind of know the truth when you hear it, and I think even things that sometimes hit you in the heart, and like you just kind of know it to be that way. I kind of love that, and like the parables and talking about stories and things that kind of like call you to investigate your own heart about something and kind of come to your own like find the truth within you, right? So it wasn't just like here's the answer key, here it is, now just do that, right? It's like sends you on this own journey of questioning yourself. So yeah, I love the narrative of Jesus is like yeah this thing, and then also I think like you were saying it's like uh to me, I feel like it gives us this concept of like grace, forgiveness, loving kindness, but then this like love that overcomes like deep suffering, right? This like profound love. And I love that story because it's like to have a notion of love like that, like it kind of has to be embodied in some way, or like at least like the story kind of gives us a notion of that type of love that's like self-sacrificial, but that endures like great suffering, right? That's like not deserving of it at all, but produces um, like all these qualities of love that gets talked about in the Bible. But I think, yeah, I think it's a great story for that reason. I think it's like whatever you believe about Jesus, to me that's not really the important part. I think the important part is having having heroes, having something to shoot for, having these principles and concepts for us to try to live by. So yeah, I think I get a lot of like Jesus is a particular. I think it's always great when like you go through a journey and kind of come back to something that you started with, but maybe in a different way. But yeah, I've explored a lot of other different traditions, but I think I like marrying it together with the Jesus story because it's a good one.
Yeah, I don't think I could have, don't think I could have said it better myself. I love that. And I always say, Chad, whenever someone, I'm gonna totally butcher her name. But Rachel Tomaichek was on the pod the other day.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I know Rachel.
and yeah, yeah, that's great gal. And she said she shared a similar message as her last is the last thing that she wanted to say.
She's
And
like,
I
we're like, let's proselytize a little bit,
well, it
which
well,
is
and
not what
it's
I'm trying to do at all. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's okay. No, you do. Like I said, this is your part of the show, you know. And the thing is that it's like some shows, they cut that out. They'd say, "Oh, we don't need to hear about that." Teddy, not that guy, because I agree with you, Chad. And I think that Rachel came on. She spoke her truth. You spoke your truth, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing about this beautiful country that we live in. We get to talk and share and believe the things that we want to believe, and you know, nobody could take that from us. And I think that the one thing you said that was very inspiring to me is, you know, like Jesus as a superhero. That's so cool. I asked Rachel, I said, who's your favorite superhero? She said Batman. Well, you know, look, she missed an opportunity. That's okay. But I think that now that you said that, she may change her mind. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
look,
yeah.
that's all we're trying to do here. Thought provoking. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to also say like I think to honor other traditions too. I think that like everything has something to bring to the table. I think I'm really drawn to like these more ancient religions because it's like there's some like foundational truths there that I feel like we need in these times that are very complex. And I think a lot of people are drawn to that as well. But say like if you look at Buddha, right? Like he starts out like a prince and he sees suffering in the world and he chooses to leave that to go like try to find like a solution to suffering with his within his mind. And I think like similarly, like maybe not as dramatic, right? And I look at Christianity as being like a very narrative driven religion that's like very dramatic, right? Like gets a lot of attention. But similarly, I think also like the compassion there of like to leave wealth and go pursue this thing and try to like sort out the nature of existence. And I think profound truths there too. And I think in so many like world religions, there's profound truth. And yeah, I think it's like it's a great thing when you can like instead of seeing all these divisive things and what's wrong in the world to like look at all the beautiful things. And I think there's like so much like again, like I was talking about the running and that journey, but also in these like spiritual paths, it's like, man, I'm so impressed by just like all these different traditions and their pursuit of like goodness and truth and like what is right and what's good ways of being and yeah, there's so much good stuff there.
I agree. I agree. And I will say that we are going to make a caveat to that from Chase and Trail. And we want to say that Scientology does not include it in that because
Yeah. I'm with
that
you on
is
that one.
absolutely craziness. And here's what, you know what? I have a big beef with those guys, you know, because again, you want to believe in lizard people and all that. All good. But here's the thing. There's a Scientology church right up the street from me, and they have a bunch of cell phone blockers. So every time I drive by, I can't get any cell phone signal. And it's in an area where, like, maybe I want a cell phone signal, but there's all secretive over there. I don't trust those guys, you know? You don't get that when you go to the what are the Jewish peoples called? The temples. You don't get it when you go
Yeah.
there. You could use your cell phone, you go to the Catholic church using my cell phone. I go to the Scientology place, totally secret. I don't like that. They're hiding something.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, I would add
Yeah.
a bigger caveat of just I mean, I'm a person that I kind of love this thing that I got from this Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's like he kind of talks about like I could tell you all about an orange. I could tell you all the characteristics of it, but like you're really not going to know an orange until you eat an orange, right? Like until you experience it for yourself. And I do think that there's a lot of problems also within religions of like creating this sort of division between man and God, where it's like I believe in sort of direct access, and I think like there's a lot of manipulation and restrictions that go on there as well too. So I think like things are always a little bit of bad and good mixed together. I think, and discerning that I think is the hard part. But yeah.
Yeah, no, look, as beautiful as people are, sometimes when you give people power, they find a way to wield it in a negative way. And they'll
Yeah.
use something as beautiful as, say, a religion that may have all the great intentions, but then they sit here and, look, Teddy's going to get off on a tangent here, and people are going to be like, what are we listening to? Joel Osteen? No, because I am not a greedy bastard. Um,
Exactly, though. I mean, that's why I thought
yeah.
of that with the Scientology. It's like it's actually massively expensive, right? You have to like buy
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, Teddy's already poor. I can't buy my way into freaking heaven. Like that's why I like Jesus because he's like, "Hey, look, just, proclaim me as the truth and then follow along in my footsteps. You're doing your best. You don't need to go
Yeah,
pay
he
money. I can't do
he
that."
he was great. He's like, give away all your shit. That's what you have to do to get in heaven.
Yeah, well, and the thing is I do anyway, but usually I give it away to shoe companies buying like the next big freaking shoe. I tell you what, the thing look, which I have a bone to pick with Satisfied. They raised their prices again. I don't know who the hell you think you are, charging 480 freaking dollars for a pair of shorts. But the thing is the next time that you guys have a Satisfy sponsored event, Teddy's coming butt naked to freaking protest. And I'm gonna show you who can run fast without shorts on. And look, I know Max Jolliffe. Still can't pronounce his last name, but he runs for Satisfy. He knows my opinions on the whole thing. He's a nice guy. I like him. But my God, I swear, I tell Max, you wouldn't wear those shorts if they didn't sponsor you. He says, now I'd wear them. Nah, come on, guy.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
I love that. I love that. I know you don't buy those shorts, but you still check the price so you can get pissed about it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is like I always heard that it was super expensive, and then I go and I look, and I was absolutely floored, Chad. I was like, "There's no freaking way! Like this has to be like in some sort of European currency." And then I go and I do the conversion. It's more expensive in my currency, in dollars. So I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know. So much for me giving you the last word. Teddy's been ranting forever. I swear.
No, I
That's
love
okay
it.
though.
My whole last word was just to try to rally you up to say a little bit more.
Well, yeah, some people do that. I'll tell you what, Chad, I've already been riled up. And the thing is that before this show comes out and gets aired, there's gonna be another show that's coming out where Teddy's gonna be real riled up because I
Okay.
tell you what, there's some people in the running media space that really pissed Teddy off today. They really pissed Teddy off today, and they're gonna get, you say you want the bull, you're gonna get the horns or something like that. But either which way, I'm gonna be acting like one of those cows that's attacking a cyclist, and I'm going full bore at him. Teddy doesn't, much like you, I don't have sponsorships to worry about, so I'm going crazy here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna. But the thing is I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be collected. It's going to be fact based. A lot of these people, they talk on emotion. The thing is, Teddy talks with emotion. I do. Look, I'm Italian. I can't help it. This is how he's made. But the thing is sometimes you got to tone it down a little bit. You got to bring the dial down, and you just got to spit facts.
Okay. I'm excited to hear
Oh, you
what you
will
said.
be.
The trail media, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's coming. So today is what? September 12th. It's going to be coming out no later than September 13th. That's how riled up Teddy is about this. That I'm going to stay up all night. I got a bunch of energy drinks. I'm going to be making this thing, and the thing is the longer I'm up and I haven't recorded yet, oh man, it's going to be bad for everybody. And that's okay, because look, Teddy tells the truth. Like I said, hard hitting journalism here, Chad. We don't hold back.
Emergency podcast. Teddy's pissed.
Yeah, Teddy's pissed. Well, what we do is we call it our solo episodes. We call it Teddy Talks. Okay, so it's
Uh,
really just when I come out. It's got a whole other theme song and everything. The thing is with this show is like as you can see with the light right here, we have amazing production value. It's top
uh,
notch. It's better than most. Yeah. You know, the thing is we'd love to get more people into the studio here, but the thing is, it's hard for people to get down to Southern California where we are, as you
I gotta
know.
come into the
Yeah,
studio. Yeah,
yeah, you
that's what
do.
we gotta do. Yeah,
The
yeah.
next time, you know what we'll do, Chad, is that if you do really, really well at Mammoth Trail Fest, we're gonna have you in the studio and we'll do like a thing. The thing is I've been waiting on a call from Tim. He's supposed to get me out there to do some infield corresponding out at Mammoth Trail Fest. And if I see you, maybe we'll do a field interview. Obviously, after you're
But
done
yeah,
with your race.
no, just running next to me, just like, yeah,
Yeah.
get me in race. Get
Okay.
my in race thoughts going. I need
Yeah,
something
it's a, yeah.
stimulating, like you said. Take your mind off the pain.
Yeah, be like, Chad, how you doing? And you're gonna be like, oh God, didn't now, Teddy, I was joking. Like, leave me alone. You know?
Well, they did that last year actually, and I think I was like, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah. What am
it
I
was
gonna
the worst
say?
interview ever.
That's okay. Well, the thing is maybe we'll be by the finish line. We'll do finish line interviews or something. I don't know. Tim hasn't told me what he needs Teddy to do. The thing is, he may just have me out there filling bottles at aid stations and trying to, hype up some of the mid-pack runners. Be like, hey, you're doing a good job. And like, you look great when we all know they really don't look great. But like, we're going to tell them that because we want a sense of encouragement and we want to get them through to the next aid station because quite honestly, the logistics of getting them out of that aid station is probably not good. That's what people don't know. These are the things that you learn when you start working races. It's like, hey, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. We just don't want to have to bring a car up there.
Yeah. Try to coax them to
Yeah,
keep going. Yeah,
you got
yeah,
to
not
coax them
good.
to keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Chad. Look, hey, I want to say we've almost gone on an hour here. This may
Oh
be one of the
gosh,
longest podcasts that Teddy's ever
Chatty
done.
Chad. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, look, the Teddy. Look, I've enjoyed every minute of it. I think it's great. I think people are going to get a lot out of this episode. I really do. And so I want to thank you, and I want to say good luck at Kodiak 100K. If you need anything, Teddy's right down the street. You just give me a call. I'll come
Oh
down
yeah.
there. If you need to come down to one of the aid spots, give you some snacks. I'll bring you some of the famous Parmesan and gummy bears if you need it.
Oh.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe I'll test run this at Mammoth Trail Fest. The it's good Parmesan though. Got to splurge on the good Parmesan though.
Oh
That's
yeah, oh yeah. It's gotta
necessary.
it's gotta come it's gotta come from the home country because if it doesn't, it's garbage. The stuff that they make here is absolutely terrible. Even the stuff in Wisconsin, they say, oh, it's the capital of cheese. No, it's not. It's terrible. It has to be aged at least 18 months. In Teddy's opinion. Now 12 months, that's
Okay.
okay. And then when you go in with the gummy bears, you got to go with the Black Forest, I believe it is the Black Forest
Okay.
gummy
Yeah. Yeah.
bears.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those is good. There's like all natural, and they're still made with the horse hooves, and that's the part that you really need because horse hooves make you faster because horses is fast.
I like it. I like it. It makes perfect logical sense. Yeah.
Like I told you, all we do is logic here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Sweet.
everybody. Yeah, that's going to do it for us here. Thank you again, Chad. What an amazing guy with an even more amazing package. We want to wish him good luck in his upcoming race at Mammoth Trail Fest and Kodiak 100. And again, if you need help, let us know. But thanks again for listening to Chase and Trail, the fastest growing running podcast in the world. I am your host, Teddy Tonelli, aka Teddy Tires. Teddy out.
Chasing trail, kicking up dirt, sweating my eyes, but it don't hurt. Fast feet, loose rocks, send it full sail. Ain't no stopping